Okay, thank you so much for being here. After I already bribed you with a goodie bag, I hope that you'll give me. I hope you'll give me about 15 minutes of your time. So first of all, I want to welcome you to ELAC. I'm sorry I have not been able to come here earlier in order to welcome you. I am Tuyen Nguyen. I'm the lead faculty of the biotechnology program that belongs to the life sciences department on this campus. So a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Tuyen Nguyen. My name really rhymes, so hopefully you will remember. So at ELAC College, we only offer one certificate of achievement in biotechnology. So it's much smaller than the one that is offered at Fullerton College, where Dr. Wu has been spending a lot of time building it. So I was a part-time instructor at Fullerton College when she was there. It was like six years ago, I think. So it's been a long time. So at ELAC, we actually have two campuses, but we are one of the 9 colleges that are in the LACCD school district. So ours is the largest school, and we have 2 campuses. The one that you are here right now is Monterey Park. We also have another one that is in Southgate. So it used to be called Southgate campus, but the name has just been changed to Southeast. So we are finishing up a science building over there, and hopefully we'll be able to start offering biotech classes on that campus as well. So if your service area is close by, we would welcome the opportunity to discuss dual enrollment classes. So very briefly, ELAC, as I mentioned, is the largest of 9 colleges in the LACCG district. We have an average annual enrollment of over 47,000 students, and most of our students are first-time students. So we rank number 1 in the amount of students that have the Latinx background, so about 37,000 students. That takes up about 41 to 44% of our total enrollment. So it's really high. We boast high retention rate and also high success rate. So hopefully, if you could help advertise for our school so that your student can take advantage of the great programs that we have to offer here on campus. Now, as other colleges, we also offer the 2 years of free tuition for the first-time students, and we also have the Promise Grant, Promise program. So it is a great advantage for high school students to consider coming to a community college, regardless of where they are, just because they can save 2 years of tuition, and they can also use that time in order to acclimate to the more intense environment of the 4-year university. So I can speak for that because I came from Long Beach City College, and I believe that if I had not gone to Long Beach City College, I would not have the time in order to move through my transfer, go to UC Irvine to get my bachelor's, and then my master's, and then my PhD. So I strongly believe that the community college environment is a great start for all high school students. Now, some parents may think otherwise, but hopefully you will see how great it is, and you will be able to help your students recognize that. So on this campus, we offer 8 academic pathways. The biotechnology program falls under science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So in biotech, we offer just one certificate of 16 units. And so the students will have to take Biotech 100 or Bio 6, a chemistry class, then Biotech 101 and Biotech 103. So I reckon that your students are science-focused students. And so once they follow a path of science major in college, they will likely have to take chemistry. So they would meet the first requirement. Then they will likely have to take a general biology for major. So for our program, the student can either take Biotech 100 as an introductory class, or they can take Biology 6, which is a general biology class. So if the student follow the science major, they would have already done or have to be completing 2 of the 4 requirements already. So they only need to take 2 more courses, Biotech 101, which is focusing more on proteins and nucleic acids, And then Biotech 103, which is more on quality control and regulatory compliance. So with that, they will finish 16 units and they can get a certificate. And most of our classes start at 3:30 in the afternoon. So high school students, if they are nearby, they can come to the campus through the early enrollment program or early college program, and they can take these classes. There are no prerequisites. I have spoken a lot. Is there any questions so far? Oh, yes.
Can you expand on the first 2 years free for the first-time students?
Yes. And do you have a similar question?
Oh, so like, are these classes in person only, or do you have hybrid, and do you also offer online?
Thank you. So I'm addressing your question first. So the 2 years of free tuition, that is for all California residents that are first-time college. So as long as you're enrolled with the school, the student will also have to file the FAFSA application, and then the financial aid office will work with them, but there are no other limitation.
Wow.
So California residents, yes.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
That's not though, Mount SAC, for example, my daughter just finished at Mount SAC. They didn't offer
Mount SAC uses their grants in a different way.
Yeah, they completely do it different. So it's not necessarily every community college, it's specific ones that allow the 2 years. Is that what I'm understanding correctly?
So I don't know Mount SAC. So
That is true about Mount SAC. They don't offer it. They use their money in a different way.
Yeah, okay.
It's still way cheaper than a UC or a CSU.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
okay, then that give us another leg up. It's free. But there's also the Promise program that gives students other incentives like free textbooks or money to buy textbooks, etc.
Some community colleges call it they have different names.
Yes.
Cypress calls it differently. It's like their mascot. I don't know what it is, but it's the same program.
All schools have the grant. They
Yeah,
just do it in
they
different ways.
do, yeah.
But all would go through the FAFSA application.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I wish that was the case when I was going to college.
Right.
Many of us, so that we would end up borrowing so much money. Yes, Dr.
Can I
Wu?
interject? So she's talking about the Promise, which is for students that are attending college full-time. But if your students are high school and you're able to handle a college class, all of their college classes, tuition, fees, that includes books, are free.
Thank you.
Still have a question about the hybrid?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the question about online or hybrid. So right now on this campus, we're offering these classes in person completely. When there was COVID, right, we offer them the lecture online, the lab in person, but now on this campus, everything is in person. Now for high school, because of the bell schedule, we are working with some high school to establish dual enrollment, so we understand your bell schedule may be different and you may not be able to meet the requirements for like 6 hours per week or 9 hours per week. So with that, we can work to add in some hybrid time for the lecture, but I think the regulation is still, you still have to do at least 50% in person. So that we are willing to work on that case-by-case basis.
If a student did, a high school student was doing like AP Bio or AP Chem, which probably covers those courses if they test high enough, can they just do the biotech classes and get a certificate? They have AP units that cover Bio and Chem?
So if the admission records office go through it and they said, okay, whatever the student did, meet the requirement of one of these chemistry classes, then yes, yes. Yes.
Does it have to be a certain age, or is it open to 9 to 12 graders?
Open to 9 to 12, yes. We had one 11th grader enter and finished our program last year. So she was with us for 2 semesters because these schedules so they can do it in 2 semesters. Okay. Any more questions for now? Yes.
Are these classes offered through the summer? Because our high school is a bit farther away from ELAC, and I was wondering if you guys also offer like your summer portion for them to come into Biotech.
So right now for biotech courses, we do not have staffing, so we cannot offer them in the summer. Chemistry though is offered in the summer. So if the student would like to start with chemistry, they can come in the summer. Yeah, we wish we had funding so that we can hire more people to staff the summer classes, but right now, not yet. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just briefly show you what we cover in these 3 biotech courses, just so that you have a rough idea to help us advertise with your students. So in Biotech 100, this is the introductory course. It's 4 units, so we have 3 hours of lecture and 3 hours of lab per week. We cover very basic lab technique. Of course, the lecture part is just basic biology, right? But for the lab, we focus on introducing them to standard operating procedures, all of the good practices such as documentation, lab practice, clinical practice, and especially the current good manufacturing practices. Because most of the students who finished with our program would go on and work at biotech company, entering the manufacturing department. So these are very important knowledge for the positions. And then we introduce them to the structure of biotech companies. We teach them how to put on aseptic gowning in the manufacturing setting. So in the lab, you may have your student put on lab coat, gloves, goggles. Those are very basic. But for the manufacturing setting, it's completely different. You can imagine people are making medicine for you to inject into your body, so it has to be free of any contamination, right? So the gowning has to be done aseptically. And then we cover math, microscope, basic lab equipment, focusing more on micropipetting, DNA gel preparation, DNA gel electrophoresis, and making nutrient agar plate, environmental surveying. So these are the very basic skills that I'm sure your general biology class will also cover. That's why we accept Biology 6 as a replacement for Biotech 100. But then in Biotech 101, it's more hands-on. So that would be 3 hours of lecture and 6 hours of lab per week. This is a 5-unit class. And we are now teaching students how to do bacterial cloning. We would teach them how to do a little bit of bioinformatics, designing the primers, how to take genes out from the gene database, and then go through DNA isolation, RNA isolation, as well as going through the whole restriction enzyme digest, ligation, and then PCR, bacterial transformation, protein production, etc. So if you go through the program with ABE, you go through some of the series that cover many of these skills. And then we will also focus on ELISA, Western blot, as well as thin layer chromatography, high performance chromatographies, and real-time quantitative PCR. So it's a little bit more advanced, but it should be able to prepare students for when they want to enter a research lab at your university. They will be more competitive to compete for those rare positions, because many of your science students will want to become a doctor, right? Nurses, dentists, etc. There's no way that they can get into the program without research experience. And it will be extremely difficult for them to get into a research lab without any background knowledge. So they should have the skills in order for them to even think about applying, because it's getting more and more competitive nowadays, unfortunately. Yeah. So with the skills that they learn from Biotech 101, I'm quite positive that if they apply to interview for a research position at a university, they would be competitive. Of course, it's mainly volunteer position, right? They don't pay you, or you have to pay for the unit in order to get into a research lab at UCI and Cal State. And then the last class, it's just theory, 2 hours a week only, and we focus on all of the FDA regulations and other standard practice and compliance. Okay, I'm sure you are well aware there are many different career paths in biotechnology, right? If you want to just get a certificate or an AS degree, you can apply to various positions already, and for bachelor's or graduate degrees, you can advance with higher positions. The field is very competitive, but it's also opened up many opportunities just because medical needs exist, right? And it's just becoming bigger and bigger as we age. As the human population age, we have more medical needs. So these companies, these biotech companies will continue to grow. And therefore, there will be many, many job opportunities if the students still want to go into the science major. And so I just want to give you some of the positions that a student may be able to apply to, especially this first column here. Most of our students enter as manufacturing associate right after they finish with our program. We do have partner, which is like 2.5 miles down the road, a company called Grifols. I'm not sure if you've heard. And they promised to give each of our graduates one interview. So how they perform during the interview is up to them, but we do have interview preparation. So we work with our students to prepare their cover letter, their CVs, and then we have mock interviews to help the student get ready. So many of our students ended up working at Grifols and then move on to other positions after. Yes?
Do you keep track of like what percent of the students who go to these interviews get a position?
Yes. So of course, when they go to interviews, they would interview at different companies. So for my student, at least with Grifols, I would say that those who go to interviews, at least 50% would get the job offer. Because at these positions, sometimes what the team is looking for is a match in personality, right? How they would fit into with the team, etc. But then I have students who would work at Takeda, or right now Thermo Fisher. Some people would work at MKS, is a company in Newport Beach that make instruments to do imaging. So it varies. And most of the students go on and transfer to four-year university and pursue other career. So this is the pathway, just to simplify it. We have right now early college program. The high school student can enter and enroll with our program. We are working on establishing dual enrollment. So we are actively working with Bravo Magnet High School. We have visited, we have opened up talk with Huntington Park Institute of Applied Science, and then a couple more local high schools in order to establish. So if you are in our service area and you are interested, please give me your email and I'll reach out so we can establish this possibility. But once the student finished Biotech 100 or Bio 6 and a 5-unit camp, Biotech 101 and 103, they would get a certificate of achievement, and then they can either transfer to ABE-LA Mission College or Peer College, because they have a bachelor's program in biomanufacturing now, and our courses are accepted there. So this coming fall, we have one student the first student who would start in the bachelor's program at ABE-LA Mission College in biomanufacturing. So if they want to continue pursuing a 4-year degree at community colleges, we do have the path to go to ABE-LA Mission or Pierce College to complete. Student can transfer, and as I mentioned, the skill will help them get into a research lab easier. Okay. Just one more thing I would like to mention, that is we do actively work with the Verdugo Workforce Development Board, so that our students, if they are eligible, they can get stipend for completing the lab portion of the biotech courses, and they can also get help with starting out at their jobs. Let's say the workplace required that they would have to have a special type of goggles or PPE. The board will have certain amount of funds set out in order to help the student get that started. So they also help with job application. They also help students enroll in different types of pre-apprenticeships and apprenticeship program. So this is a great benefit. We have had, I think, at least 15 students since I started with the program to get $1,800 or $3,600 through stipend from Verdugo Workforce Development. So it is a great incentive. Okay, and the last thing I would like to leave you with is that based on the projected growth of the biotech field, we are seeing a large amount of growth, but the educational program at community colleges or 4-year universities have not really been able to get enough enrollment in order for us to churn out workers that can meet the demand of the workforce. So I'm hoping that as high school teachers, you are the people who work so closely with the students and can really mold the way they think. Hopefully you can help us just give them another option. It doesn't have to always be medical school, it doesn't have to always be dental school, etc. Right? Biotech opens up so many opportunities. So please help us advertise, and we would appreciate your input, and we would appreciate any connection that you would like to establish with ELAC in order to have a dual enrollment program. Thank you.